Hey guys, and welcome to Film Artsy, your number one source for all things films and movies. My name is Elijah. While the cast members of the Marvel Cinematic Universe are known for suiting up all the times in their movies, when Halloween rolls around, it doesn't necessarily stop them from suiting up in a different way. And today we thought it'd be interesting to take a look at some of the greatest and best moments from over the years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's cast members celebrating Halloween. Some of these actors have dressed up in really cool ways, or some of them have dressed up with their children, and it's just something that has been really awesome to watch over the years, and there's some really great moments that we've seen. So today we're gonna go ahead and jump into it and take a look at some of these awesome costumes we've seen from the past.
Agent Romanoff, you miss me?
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Captain.
Your Highness.
Captain, big fan, Spider-Man. Hey everyone.
First up, we wanted to look at this recent one, which is Paul Rudd and his daughter. Now, his daughter actually dressed up as the Wasp, which is the character that works with Ant-Man, Paul Rudd's character, in Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is really funny that she played this character who counters Ant-Man, but also that throughout all of this, Paul Rudd kind of stole the show a little bit by dressing up as Weird Al for Halloween. So we have pictures of him with his daughter as him being Weird Al and his daughter being the Wasp. It's kind of cute and it's kind of funny, so we thought we would include it in this list. Next up, we have Chris Pratt from Guardians of the Galaxy, who is with his son, who is dressed up as his favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe character, which is not Star-Lord, ironically enough. However, his son dressed up as Captain America, and we've seen a couple pictures now of Chris Pratt with his son rocking the Captain America costume, and it's pretty great. However, this actually isn't the first time we've seen Chris Pratt celebrate Halloween in one way or another. Just a year ago, we saw him dress up as what we believe to be a Viking while he was with some of his friends, and it's a pretty basic costume, but it's fitting for Chris Pratt nonetheless. Next up, we can do a throwback to last year's Halloween, where we can take a look at Chris Evans in this picture that was snapped at a Halloween party, where he is dressed up as Marty McFly. Now, Marty McFly was the main character from the Back to the Future movie series that were immensely popular in the 80s and are still popular to this day, and he actually does a decent job pulling off this character. Of course, it makes us wonder what it would be like if they ever rebooted the movie with Chris Evans instead, but maybe it's best that we just leave that alone. But we also can't forget all of the times that Robert Downey Jr. has posted some awesome things for Halloween that we've really appreciated over the years, whether it's sharing things that fans have done or things that he's done on his own. He definitely enjoys the holiday nonetheless. We can remember last year when he tweeted out this picture, which hauntingly reminded everyone of what happened to Spider-Man at the end of Avengers Infinity War. We've also seen him tweet out pictures of all of the Infinity Stones as pumpkins. We've even seen him dress up as a tiger before. So we know nonetheless that Robert Downey Jr. does appreciate the Halloween holiday and stays festive during this time of the year. Next up, we can turn to Mark Ruffalo, who plays the Hulk in the movies, who also ironically dressed up as the Hulk in a low-budget Hulk costume to tweet out who was dressing up as the Hulk for Halloween. Now, we don't know if this was actually his costume that he decided to wear on Halloween, if he decided to dress up on Halloween, but it's still kind of cool that he took on this low-budget version of a costume just to not only show it off, but also to see if there's any other fans who are planning to take on his character and become his character this Halloween season, especially after all of the hype of Avengers Endgame that happened this year, because honestly, it's a pretty big year if you were a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Next, we have this very old costume from years back of Scarlett Johansson, and we don't have too much context as to what character she was trying to be here. If you understand which character it is, please let us know in the comments down below. However, it looks like she was playing a character who got shot because she has a fake bullet hole in her head. However, Scarlett Johansson seems to be fine as she's smiling in this picture, but nonetheless, it is a very different style of Halloween costumes than what we've seen from her fellow Avengers castmates so far. Next up, we have the very controversial costume that Thor, or Chris Hemsworth, dressed up as way back a few years ago. And it was a really big deal because he dressed up as a pilgrim, and there was a bunch of Native American costumes also in this picture that he did. Now, this ended up being extremely controversial when it initially was released. A lot of critics citing that it was cultural appropriation. Fortunately, Chris Hemsworth had gone on record and apologized for his lack of judgment in that costume and in posting pictures online. However, we do acknowledge that it was just a costume that maybe wasn't as well thought out as it could have been, and we hope that Chris Hemsworth maybe pulls out a really awesome costume this year for sure. Next up, we have Evangeline Lilly, who plays the Wasp in Ant-Man and the Wasp, who this year dressed up as one of the characters from Coco and really seemed to like it, as a ton of kids had reached out to her and complimented her costume at various Halloween parties she attended this year. Pretty cool costume, to say the least, and it's cool to kind of pay homage to a newer Pixar movie that introduced a lot of new characters along the way, and it's really cool to see. Next up, we can look to Tom Holland, who's dressed up many times over the years. We have this costume that we aren't really too sure what exactly it is. If you understand what it is, please let us know, because we can't really figure out what this costume is quite supposed to be. But at the same time, it seems rather fitting for Tom Holland to have a costume that people don't really understand exactly what it is, or maybe we're missing something. But if you understand what it is, please let us know in the comments down below. But we also have this older picture back from when he was a little kid celebrating Halloween, which is pretty cool to see not only how much he's aged since he was a kid, but also just that he's been dressing up in costumes since he was much younger. Then, if you remember back from a year or so ago, we have this awesome costume or makeup that Zendaya did for Halloween, which is actually really good. It looks extremely professional, and whether she had it professionally done or not is besides the point, because ultimately it's something original, but also pretty spooky to say the least, and it definitely is very fitting into the Halloween season. This has caused a ton of other people to take on their own renditions of this costume themselves, doing makeup tutorials online and trying to take on this same image, and ultimately it was something really unique that inspired a ton of other people to follow suit, and we think that's something that's kind of cool and unique at the same time. So now we wanted to turn this around to you guys. Who would you say won the Marvel Cinematic Universe costume contest? If these characters were all lined up in their costumes, who would you say wore the best costume out of all of them? We'd love to know what you guys think, and leave a comment down below. But also, what are you going to be for Halloween if you are dressing up this Halloween? Are you taking on a Marvel Cinematic Universe character? Be sure to let us know in the comments down below, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on for more videos just like this. We'd love to look at more of these characters in depth and what type of costumes they've worn from over the years. So make sure you guys let us know what you're thinking, and we will see you guys all next time with a brand new video. Bye guys.
Talking?
I'm about to.
Hi everybody.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Hi.
See you guys.
Know anybody?